everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Brain Damage, the internet's most premier podcast on tentacle porn and hentai. I am your host, Dynamite Jarrod, along with my co-hosts,
Buddy the Bruiser
and
Midnight Miles.
Alright, so normally on the first episode of a show, we would go and introduce ourselves, but let's face it, this is simply the rebrand of a show that Jarrod and I have been doing for the past 5 years. It's hard to believe this is the 5-year anniversary, as we're saying, fuck two nerds, we're bringing this idiot on here.
You wanted someone to give you the real brain damage. The fans needed it, they want it. They've talked about how fucking stupid I've been on all these guest episodes and how fucked up I've been, and this is what they need to hear.
It's true, the comments have been flooded with people just absolutely ripping Midnight Miles to shreds. They can't stand this guy, and so we thought, in order to increase our numbers and bring up our analytics and everything, we'd bring the guy that nobody likes back onto the show on a permanent basis.
So speaking of Miles being on the show, we have some feedback from an episode of the House of Horror that we did way back when, in May, and the fan has a question for Miles. Because Miles told the story of Stanky Pink in Mocha.
Stinky Pink.
And they were simply asking, how often does Stinky Pink get washed?
It really varies, I'm not gonna lie. It really varies. Right now, she's been unwashed for a little while. I'm not gonna lie to anyone here, but it depends. Some years, Stinky Pink gets washed numerous times. I won't lie. Midnight Mocha hasn't been giving his girl any loving lately, so it's been pretty safe. She's kind of just been laying there. Once in a while, he'll go up and lick her a little bit and give her a little rub down, and that's it. So right now, I'd say we're going on 6 months not washed Stinky Pink.
So, sounds to me like Stinky Pink might be a little bit too stinky right now. Might need a wash so Mocha can get the loving going back on.
Since last season, I guess I'll get real for a sec. I had the vid. My smell is almost non-existent. If stinky, I have no fucking clue. I cannot smell it.
Oh, and speaking of the fact that this is the 5th year we've been doing this, on the 4th year anniversary was the episode where Jarrod discussed how he had gotten COVID. And you know what? He just couldn't get enough. He had to go in for round 2 of COVID. A true god.
Yes, I've battled and defeated COVID-19 twice. And as of yet, I'm gonna get my vaccine soon, but I'm not allowed because of how recently I've had COVID. So I can't. I think like next month I should be able to get a vaccine. The doctors will let me. Other than that, the second time was a lot shittier because I didn't get paid and I was completely by myself. I was just in my house by myself for 2 weeks or 10 days or whatever, and all I had to watch was like a bunch of shitty Godzilla movies.
Says the guy that has a Blockbuster in his house. All I had to watch was fucking
Well, that's all I did watch. I watched Godzilla and like other Japanese.
Were you streaming Silent Hill at this time?
I might have beat Silent Hill before the quarantine was over.
Oh, you already beat it.
I beat it. You and Emily wouldn't come in for the grand finale, and neither did Midnight Miles. The only one I think that was in the chat was Mazer Laser.
I watched some of it, though. But I wasn't on it because I had to sign up for Twitch. But, hey, buddy, way to give the fans brain damage by fucking bringing all of our COVID shit into the podcast. No one wants to hear this shit. So tell us what we're fucking doing here today.
All right, so it is...
By the way, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. That's the running theme of the show. That's why we changed the name, is so that Midnight Miles can say brain damage, leading into everything that he's going to say. Honestly, for the remainder of this podcast run.
I'm really trying to see if I can get some money from just something by saying brain damage.
Well, people know. Freaking goddamn! I can't even remember the director's name.
Same dude who did Basket Case.
Oh wow! And
didn't he? He did do Frank.
It was the same guy.
For those listening at home, Miles just pulled up his Michael Myers hoodie to reveal the Basket Case T-shirt. When he said that, it's a damn shame that he doesn't have a brain damage T-shirt on today.
For those of you guys who have not seen Brain Damage, it's basically the poor man's version of Basket Case. It's a
Poor man?
It's not even like Basket Case. It's just the same director.
It's the same
it's not the same concept. Brain Damage is like a really like kind of like in your face, badly done like take on like drug addiction and use. Whereas Basket Case is just
at times it feels like the same film at points.
Well, this is actually
not that the plots are the same, but it feels
it's by
like
the same director, but like the themes are a lot different. And I mean, like the Basket Case guys, Belial and I can't remember the main dude's name.
Dwayne. It is. I think it is Dwayne. Yeah.
Belial and Dwayne, they make a cameo appearance in Brain Damage on the subway bus or whatever. But
I was gonna say this is a nice segue into one of the things we're talking about today, but I'm not sure what we're talking about first.
We're talking about you're on the right vibe, and it has to do with brains and stuff like that. That's what we're talking about first. So if you have a segue, go ahead, Mr. Midnight Miles.
A hot take. This episode is talking about some of the new horror films that have just somewhat new been released in the last month or so. So I watched Malignant today. We're going to talk about it. First thing, as I'm wearing my Basket Case shirt, I'm like, God, this is almost like a modern remake of Basket Case. Like, the story is very similar in ways. Obviously, it's different, but I'm like, as I'm wearing this, I'm like,
can we hold on?
I'm
I'm going to stop you right now. Can we just talk about, for a second, what we thought of the movie in general without getting into any spoilers, even though you just fucked everything up?
You'd have to...
And then Buddy could cut it and be like, something like, all right, if you want to avoid spoilers, because I don't give a shit if we spoil Candyman. It's fucking Candyman. Everybody knows what Candyman's about. There's really no spoilers in it. Here's the big spoiler for Candyman. Tony Todd's at the end of the movie. But for this movie, there's a big twist. I feel like spoiling it could potentially affect the way people watch the movie. And so I'd rather not spoil the end of the movie until we have like a spoiler tag warning where Buddy can come in post and be like, all right, we're talking spoilers here. If you don't want to hear them, cut fucking 15 minutes ahead in the podcast.
And it's been on the screen the entire time you guys have been watching this. But for those of you that don't, I'll put the ad break right here, and then I'll say it audibly for those of you guys that are on the streaming services. But if you're on YouTube, it's been on the screen this whole time. And we will take our ad break right now. Go for a second, just so I know when it is. Okay, we should be fine.
All right, Miles, spoil the fuck out of Malignant, I guess, because we're in spoilers.
No, we don't. We're gonna talk about it. Let's. All right, you guys go first. You know.
Okay, so first off, I've watched this film twice.
Oh wow.
I will just say it was.
He's the foremost expert on fucking James Wan and Malignant.
I know the film
Malignant's
front and back. But yeah, I watched it twice. It was definitely better on the second viewing. On the first viewing, I thought it was bad. On the second one, in the right environment, because I had my boy over here watching it with me, it was pretty fun the second time. But the first time, I was not feeling it.
Well, the second time, you were probably
and the ladies were here too.
And your wife.
My wife was here.
Jesus Christ, what was your wife doing there? It's almost like we watched it at your house.
Shout out to the women getting brain damage right now.
That's true.
Miles is about to be kicked off the podcast if he keeps name dropping it every 5 seconds.
I'm getting it in their heads. Subliminal messaging.
It's very subliminal. I can tell
subliminal.
They have no idea that's what's happening right now. So the second time you watch it, I feel like you were more watching our reactions more so than the movie.
With that Buddy smile that he does, like watching something happen.
Well, the first time I watched it, I was off from work. I literally watched the film at 11 a.m. sitting alone at my house, like on the fucking couch in the middle of the fucking day.
You got off at 11 a.m.?
No, I was off work that day.
Oh, okay.
So I started the film like early in the day. Of course, this was on HBO Max, so it was easy to just watch it. And
I don't know how the fuck that happened.
What happened?
A geyser of water just shot.
I seriously took a sip of water. I went to set it down, and it just splashed like all over the fucking place.
It is October. Ghosts, spirits.
I don't know. I didn't even have it all the way set down. It was like mid stride down, and then the water just like fucking tsunami'd like up and out. I don't know.
See, I don't even know what I was trying to say. I have brain damage now. But basically, the first time I watched it, I wasn't gelling with it. The second time, I had a lot more fun. But the first time I did acknowledge, once it turned into John Wick at the end, I was flexing as hard as possible.
I think everyone should do a drinking game that's listening to this podcast. How many times we say brain damage, do a shot
take
for
a
each
shot.
of them. and see if you have fucking brain damage by the end of it.
It might be the first of many running games because most of you who don't know Midnight Miles notoriously late and doesn't show up to things. I think another joke will be how many podcasts does Miles actually show up for? Take a shot every time.
And how many times do we have to find a fucking replacement for him?
Scab. My jobber scab third fucking person.
We have Beck Nasty and Mazer Laser typically on hand when we do these, so can easily step off of the get off the bench and get onto the court and get some valuable minutes in there.
Bench?
You're on the bench. You guys are on the bench right now. You see where you're at? Yeah.
Should I actually say something about the film?
Yes, let's talk about the film.
I feel like
I'll take a nap because I feel like this is gonna last a minute.
I'm not you talking about Final Fantasy battle systems, Cat. Shit. You take fucking
He's
4
still
naps
bitter
and-
about the video games episode.
I know.
He's still bitter.
It is what it is. We're moving on. We're in the future.
We're not moving on if you bring it up every podcast.
He just made a joke. I'm not even long-winded about this shit. I fucking can't even barely remember some of Final Fantasy, and it's scarred into my brain after that podcast. Anyways, I feel like this was the greatest hits from all of his films, but done in like a story or a way that I love. Like I saw parts of Insidious with the way it was shot. Some of the I feel like the camera zooms and some of the musical cues, right, buddy? Wouldn't you say that?
The musical cue was literally just "Hey" by the Pixies, or no, "Where Is My Mind" by the Pixies remix.
Yeah, but you understand what I'm saying with the way that he puts cues over some of his like shots and stuff. He uses it in Insidious a ton. Certain things that I saw from The Conjuring. There were scenes like when the first part of the film, I was like, the opening credits and stuff, and the way the music and the way it was shot, I was like, God, this looks like an early 2000s film. And like when the camera spins and goes upside down, when Gabriel, which is the main villain for anyone who doesn't know or does know watching it, they do that spin of the camera, and there's the big fan. It reminds me of something from Saw when he's fashioning the weapons, and like the action scenes, now that he's done stuff like Aquaman and the Fast and Furious series, I just felt like this was like him flexing everything he's ever learned as a filmmaker and kind of touching back on his other films, but in a brand new story, obviously.
What do you got to say about it, bro?
All right, so waking up from a long nap there.
You got a little brain damage there, Kat, huh?
I will say that this did seem like an early 2000s movie. When it was all said and done, one of the things I took away is that the movie seemed very dated. Like, and not in like a good way. Like when I was halfway through this movie, I was like, I feel like I'm in 2002 right now. And even though that's a period that I lived through, it's not really a period I have like I guess I have a lot of fond memories of, but not so much like the media for. I don't know. When I watched it, I was like, this seems old. It seemed older than it was.
Like that's what he was. I'm assuming that's what he was going for. I mean, the way
it's just like a weird era to like. That's what I mean. I'm not like nostalgic for movies from the early 2000s because I feel like I just watched them yesterday. Because I mean, like that was like their time growing up. Like we went and saw fucking every Saw movie in theaters.
I feel like when he was a young filmmaker, obviously stuff in Saw was coming up. Like I feel like I said, like it was almost like a nod to that. Obviously that fucking intro and the music and everything. I was just like, God, this is so. I said out loud when I was watching. I was like, this is so 2002.
Like there were a lot of things in the film that seemed dated and seemed like hokey, and I couldn't tell if it was intentional or not. Like a lot of the acting was like kind of weird, especially like from the dad and like the flashback scenes. He's just like, go to your room, daughter, and just like weird ass shit like that. Like there was a lot of weird things in it. I don't know.
I feel like it was. To me,
it was super cheesy, but I don't know if the cheese was intentional.
I feel like it was. I felt
the cheese was definitely
intentional.
I think like the first 3/4 of the movie, you could ask that question, but by the end of the movie, it's fully like he's like basically like he went from winking to the audience to straight up fucking spreading his asshole and just showing it to the entire fucking just spraying shit over the entire audience in a good way because the last like 15-20 minutes of the movie are like the best part of the whole movie. If the last portion of the movie was not in it, I would have fucking hated this movie because like going through like the first 3/4 of the movie, I was like, yeah, this sucks. I basically called the twist like pretty fucking early
You
on.
guys all did. You and Mazer and my wife. Like within like 5 minutes, they're like, "Oh, it's fucking. She's doing it. It's her fucking twin took over her brain or whatever."
Yeah.
I don't know. Like fucking this movie. Like I'm glad I watched it on HBO Max because it felt like a fucking Netflix movie. Like Would you not agree? It didn't feel like a Netflix
Well, he was
film.
saying he's never wanted to be in a theater more in
I
his
just
life.
want to always be when I'm watching. It's weird for me because this is the first movie I've watched since the whole HBO Max, like them like putting something out as it releases, and I just love going for like a brand new fucking release.
That felt like it was 20 years old.
That's fine. The thing is, like, that was fine with me. Like, I was okay. Let's talk about this real quick. Kind of like segueing into that. The first 5 minutes of it felt so 2000s and so intentional cheese. Like everything happens in like 2 seconds. Like those like flash cuts, the flash stories. She's like, they're walking down the hall and they're like, "Oh my God, Gabriel did this," and they all run down and things are happening. And she's like, "Well, maybe we can sedate him." And they're like, "He killed this person." She's like, "Put him down." Just like looks at the camera. Like from the instant, it was so early 2000s sci-fi horror to me. Like just that first like 5 minutes before like, you know, the title screen and everything. And I was like, all right, I see why people maybe didn't like this or had a hard time understanding it. Like obviously mainstream people that watch horror sometimes are expecting the ghost stories and the serious stuff, like watching this, they might.
It's not that. I don't think anybody had a hard time understanding it unless they were fucking
not the storyline.
never
but
seen
just
a horror movie before. But like, not. I think that the way that it was marketed has a lot to do with somebody might not like this.
It was marketed more serious
because it was like fucking Cabin in the Woods. I thought about Cabin in the Woods, which is a movie that I like a lot.
I like Cabin in the Woods a lot.
But when I saw Cabin in the Woods in theaters, I think I saw it with you.
I think we probably did at the mall.
Yeah, we did because when goddamn freaking Liam Hemsworth or whatever the fuck his name is flies off the ramp with the motorcycle and it just goes into the force field. We were seriously screaming in the movie theater, laughing so loud.
That's his death scene, if I remember.
Yeah, he dies.
He dies immediately.
Of course he dies. He seriously flew like 30 feet in the air.
Don't they
and
have a close-up where he's just zooming like this?
And then it goes to the wide shot of him flying through the air and then just smacks against the force field and just falls like oh, it's so fucking funny. I was like
good.
crying laughing at that. But regardless, Cabin in the Woods, marketing wise, there was no hint whatsoever that it was a parody of the horror genre and that it was like a horror comedy, which is what Cabin in the Woods is. But even when you look at the Blu-ray release of it, it literally just looks like your standard fucking goddamn.
They went all in on it. Like, that's part of the joke of it.
It looks like your standard fucking late 2000s haunted house movie. You know what I mean? Like that I fucking hate. I don't even know why I went and saw that fucking movie. You probably were like,
because I was like,
you were like, yeah, it's getting good reviews and blah blah or something.
The thing is, that movie had been on the back burner and shelves for years. And then it finally got released in theaters because that was shot, buddy, wasn't that shot in like 2005, 2006, and then come out to 2012 or something?
It was definitely shot before Chris Hemsworth did Thor, and then it came out after.
It was on the shelf, just like that. Remember that slasher that what's her face did? All the Boys Love Mandy Lane. That was another one that was like another big film that was on the shelves for years and then
big
came
film
out.
that I've never heard of, and Jarrod has no idea what you're talking about either.
I've heard of it. But I'll tell you this right now: when you say you remember this, and I'm like instantly want to look at Buddy and be like, yeah, wow, neither of us have seen this fucking movie.
No, well, I guess. All right, I could say hyped in the horror community, hyped in the festivals, because both Cabin in the Woods didn't get a couple festival release, and then just got shelved for years. So there was hype, like not hype, but there was buzz. There was buzz behind it.
Yeah, I remember when I was at Sundance when it was first shown, and I was fucking.
Yeah.
I was like, why?
15-year-old Jarrod.
When is this coming out? And they're like, oh, I have no idea. And then when it finally came out, fucking, I don't know. But,
Miles, what else you got to say about this film? Because I feel like you have more to say than me and Jarrod do about it.
I loved it a lot when you guys said obviously the sarcasm in the group chat.
Cut me off there.
I was
Oh, do you
like,
have something to say?
Yeah, I was like, that whole Cabin in the Woods thing came from me expanding upon a thought about how the movie was marketed.
Then go
And
on.
this movie was marketed, I mean, look at the title of the movie, Malignant. And so when I first heard that title, I'm instantly thinking Insidious, Sinister, and, those movies like that. And the way the trailers for this movie play out are exactly like those fucking movies. And so and even down to the narrator who's like a sinister new vision of horror, and then you're watching the trailer, like, none of this looks new at all. This looks like the fucking goddamn ghost lady's gonna come out and scream "Don't you dare" and smack her across the fucking room at any moment. It looks like a haunted house movie in the trailers. And then like the first 45 minutes of the movie kind of play like, well, the first 5 minutes don't, and then like the next like 40 minutes of the movie or hour of the movie kind of play out like that.
It's kind of a long film.
It's almost
for what
2 hours.
is.
It's almost 2 hours, but to me, it went by pretty quickly. Like, to be honest, like I was
Because
never.
you love that. You loved the first half of this fucking movie.
I feel like at some point we paused it for a second or looked at the runtime, and we still had like 45 minutes left, and we were like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
It's an hour and 51 minutes. I just watched it today. I paused. It's an hour and 51.
You weren't
minutes.
even at the part where the movie got good to me, and you were already
You were like
fucking
80 out of 100. You didn't say 8 out of 10.
you
I was
were
like,
already
80 out of
at the
100.
end. Yeah,
you were
I was at the
already
end.
like, fuck, god damn it. Like,
The thing is,
fucking-
I love Gabriel's look, like the face, obviously the fucking face, like, and like the scenes where he's running and stuff, like when the cops chasing him and he's like rappelling down the building and like the shit that's going on. Like I thought that was all like really fun and enjoyable.
What was Gabriel doing for year? Like, was he doing like insane, like fucking like push-ups and shit? Because this is a normal girl, but as soon as he takes hold, he's like fucking Superman.
First he fucking literally breaks her goddamn arms, and then is like total Superman.
Why is she having dreams of him fucking doing squats and shit?
I made a joke at the end of this, and Marissa, like, there's that scene where like her sister has the hospital bed crush in the climax.
Is Marissa gonna get a nickname?
Is Marissa canon in the podcast now? Midnight Marissa?
Midnight Marissa. Yeah, actually
Okay.
that fits nice. There we go. We're doing it. Right, Austin flexing.
Why do you
I
guys
like
have to
that.
have like the same name?
Well, we'll see. Well, I'll ask her.
Midnight Mocha, Midnight Marissa, like
We're actually
anything
all
that comes
crew.
from the Miles
We're all crew,
Miles
yeah.
side of things, I guess is
The Miles universe.
The Miles Extended Universe.
the Midnight Clan.
Is that your water, dude?
She
Oh
needs
my
some water.
fucking Christ!
That's
Get your
alright.
own water, Jesus Christ!
All right. No, okay. So we're watching it, and she's like the blonde. Her sister's crushed by the hospital bed. She gets up. She's like, "It's heavy. You're not gonna be able to move it." And then she has that corny line where she's like, "My brother was inside of me the whole time." It was like so bad. And she's like, "His strength is my strength too." And then I was like, it'd be fucking great right now if she went to lift it up and she just fucking ripped her arms out of her sockets and was standing there armless screaming, and the film ended that way. And Marissa, literally, Midnight Marissa, we'll call her that I'll ask her. I'm gonna ask her about this for her podcast name. I'm gonna get back to you guys.
You're gonna ask her that, and she's gonna reply with, "Don't you ever fucking mention me on that podcast ever again."
She'll be like, yeah, Midnight Marissa probably sounds good. Yeah. But I wanted that to happen so bad as I was saying it, but it just made me think of that, like the arms like ripping because.
Yeah, by the end of the movie, like I said, like it goes from a wink to like an absolute just fucking ripping ass
can
on
we
camera.
talk about-
But like literally the last fucking like 10 seconds of the movie are like the cheesiest fucking
So
thing I've ever
cheesy. The
seen.
mom smiling from the hospital bed,
That's
just to
so
smile.
fucking funny.
And she's just like,
For no reason. Like, isn't there a line from like the main girl? She's like, "Oh, I've always wanted a blood connection, and you're blood to me like the adopted sister."
Yeah.
But like, her blood mother is literally laying in the same room as her and says nothing.
because she cares more. She cares more about her adopted sister, or not adopt. I mean, she was adopted sister who was there her whole fucking life, than her dumbass fucking blood mother who's just sitting there a smiling corpse on a fucking bed.
I understand the fucking thing because I would feel the same way.
It was just an
I don't have
awkward
any
scene.
I don't have any adopted siblings or anything, but I care more about my half siblings than I do like my full blooded family. Pretty much,
Right,
I hope Justin's not listening.
Well, he ain't gonna listen to my. He probably will because he fucking cares about me more than that.
Oh,
Damn. Segue. How good was the women's prison scene in there? Were they
Great
actually-
segue.
So.
no.
Great segue.
Fantastic segue.
Hey, that's why you have me on brain damage for these moments.
Oh my god.
Every time Miles says he's gonna have to put like a quarter in the jar or something.
It's the first episode. Come on. But yeah, the women's scene when they were just destroying all of the women and like she grabs one, just rip her fucking arms off and throw them. She grabbed the ones and threw them. Twisted the one girl's fucking head off. Fucking it just. As soon as I started doing that, obviously I was standing up in my place, just screaming and clapping like this is a masterpiece, obviously. But
What's your actual score for it?
Did you rate it on Letterboxd yet?
no, I have to.
He never will.
No, I will. I haven't downloaded it on this phone yet because I haven't. Speaking of that, do I even have a phone? Yeah, I put it up there. Anyways.
Better have it. We're gonna need that buzzer.
Oh, I know. We down the future episode. Here we go. But honestly, because it hits my sensibilities, I'm gonna rate it higher probably than you guys will. To be honest,
I think we got that. I understand that already. I want to know exactly how high you're going to rate this.
I'd probably put it at a 4 out of 5.
Okay, that's. I was just dreading.
At least, like,
I was first off for content's sake, just for content creation. I was hoping to God that you would say 5 out of 5, so that I could just scream and jump out of a window right now.
I have like pretty. We went through my Letterboxd the one day. You're like, I love every film that you have as a 5. You actually like said that. Well, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna give 5.
There's no way I love every film you have as a 5.
You don't love My Bloody Valentine as much as me. That's why I said I was a guilty. Like, there's some that I put that I just love so
I
much.
like it, but it's not even close to a 5.
Listen, that could be a whole episode in itself, roasting Miles' Letterboxd scores. We did.
You
it with
try.
ours.
You looked the one day. You're like, God, a lot of these
Because you don't have
scores aren't as
anything
bad.
rated.
That's true.
You've rated like 3
That's
films.
true. If you
I've
would
rated
rate
like
even
600 films on there.
nice try.
I download on my phone. I've rated,
Nice
like,
try.
Just look.
We're
Fine, here we
going
go.
right
We're
now.
on-
Talk about Malignant. How much you fucking love it.
I love it.
What else do we have to say about Malignant? Are we going to
I
move on
love
to the next film soon? Or what
okay,
else?
the John. Okay, I'm basically almost, but the John Wick, the whole action sequences, action horror, super gory. I was surprised at how many people actually got killed in this film because they probably killed like 40 fucking people in this film. The body count's like fairly high, especially for a modern
just from
film.
the prison scene alone, I mean, there's like at least 20 people in
And then
there.
like 20 cops died.
All right, yeah, 640.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've rated 640 films on Letterboxd. It's not like I've rated 3.
All right, highest first. Let's see here. Wait, what?
That's not the highest. That's not right.
What's going on here?
I think you might
My
have
highest,
your
my highest first. Miles Ackroyd's.
But anyway, I don't have much else to say about Malignant. I don't know. The goriest scenes were the surgery scenes, which was kind of lame. But
There's so much gore in this. Are you kidding me? They literally rip people's arms off. The bones come through the skin. People's stomachs get sliced open. You watched it twice. You don't remember all that?
I remember it, but
I thought you were the expert. Jared just told me you were the expert. You saw it twice.
Did you notice anything about the movie on your second watch through that you didn't notice on the first?
I guess on the second watch through, there's a lot more hints at it than I remembered the first time around. But a lot of that has to do with knowing the twist for sure.
Right.
The second time in.
Her walking. I mean, the body walking and the body. Some of the body movements were like obviously made sense. Like, well, obviously, one like I wondered even before the twist. Like I was watching, I was like, why are all her joints like someone's facing forward? You know.
I wasn't watching her movements that closely.
Oh, because they were just
But-
to me they just were super unnatural, obviously. So that's why I was like. But anyways, should we talk about the second or what are your guys' rankings?
3 out of 5.
On my first viewing, I gave it 2, and then I bumped it to 2.5. Because for me,
Ooh.
for me,
Alright.
the beginning is still like so wonky, and although the ending is insane, and I love the ending, it can't completely salvage the first half.
The ending is so insane. I wish I could just see myself watching the ending for the first time because I just felt my jaw on the fucking ground like the entire time of the ending. I was just looking like at Buddy. I just kept looking back and forth from the screen to Buddy, like how, like how is this happening? Like I'm so happy. Mazer Laser was like, I want to kill myself. This is the worst movie I've ever seen. Loved the first half, hated the second half. I'm like, thank fucking God.
I love the creature design. I like how it was all over it just hit my sensibilities. Like it reminded me of films like gore films that I watched when I was coming up through horror, because like to be honest, gore films on like the mainstream, like stuff like that, like nowadays, we don't get a film where they kill fucking 40 people in like a gory fashion on the big screen that often anymore.
I think we're about to get Halloween Kills here in a second.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe this will be the new trend.
Yeah, Halloween
maybe this will be
Kills.
the new trend.
If he doesn't kill at least 40 people in Halloween Kills, I swear to God, he kills like 15 in the trailer alone.
I know, true.
He's seriously just killing everyone in the fucking trailer. How bad does the fire look behind him when
Did
it
you
does
see-
the
did you
close?
I didn't watch the new trailer.
Did we all
'cause
see? You didn't see the new one
didn't
yet?
watch
Did you
the
see the
new
new one?
How
The new
new?
trailer?
It just came out like last week, right?
Like yeah, like 3 or 4 days ago.
Then probably not. But yo, how pumped was I when we saw Candyman in theaters? There was 2 fucking Halloween Kills trailers back to back. But
Oh, wow.
The first one was the normal one, the first trailer. Well, not the first teaser, obviously, but the first full trailer. The second one.
Is that the final trailer then? Like,
No, it wasn't out at the time. It was a weird promo that I've never seen before, except for in this theater.
Had a fucking narrator. I was
Yeah.
so fucking stoked. I was literally like, wow, I feel like it's 1984 right now. It was so awesome. I love it. I love it. More trailers like that. Bring back the fucking narrators, man.
They got rid of it, man. It was a trend for so long, and then now it's just like, we're going to keep this trailer vague and then just show the title at the end.
Or they're gonna we're gonna keep it vague, but we're actually gonna show everything that matters in the trailer, and then you don't need to watch it at all. Not with Halloween Kills, obviously, but other films.
I hope to God not Halloween Kills. I hope to God they didn't put all the kills in just the trailer.
So bad.
We'll find out, not next episode, but the following episode,
Well,
the film will finally be out.
This
So we'll
is
know.
the dilemma I have when we're talking about new horror films.
Miles is already going to bounce out of this Halloween review. Is that what you're doing right now?
No, I'm pissed because I realized Halloween comes out the day I leave for Puerto Rico, which of course it would do that, but it comes out on Peacock the same day as in the theaters. So what I'm doing is at midnight on October 15th, I have to leave for the airport at 5 in the morning. I'm just going to stay up and not sleep and watch Halloween Kills at midnight on October 15th because I can't go the whole weekend without watching Halloween Kills. Because it's coming out Peacock.
So he'll be in Puerto Rico when we're doing the podcast, so he's not going to be on the podcast.
Well, no, if you do it on Sunday, I get back Sunday night.
Jarrod is just in complete...
It's my.
And it comes out on Mondays, right? I mean, I guess we can do it.
The thing is, it bums me out is that weekend there's 8,000 things happening.
Why don't you just see it in the theater in Puerto Rico?
That'd be fucking hard. All hungover, just like.
Yeah, I mean,
dying.
that's what I would do. There's
Dying in a theater in Puerto
I absolutely
Rico.
refuse to watch fucking Halloween Kills on Peacock. I refuse.
Especially because it's like the streaming on it is like the worst of all time. I don't know how it is with their shows, but like the live events have been horrible.
Their shows are fucking dog shit. I'll stream Parks and Rec on like sometimes when I go to sleep. It's on Peacock, and I'm on my PS4, and so like eventually your PS4 goes to sleep because you're asleep. Okay, I'll wake up in the middle of the night. Okay, my PS4 went to sleep. Cool. Boom. Turn the thing back on. If whatever you're watching it on goes to sleep in the middle of an episode, say goodbye to the fucking episode. You're never going to be able to fucking watch it. Where it fucking cut off, you'll start the episode, like resume an episode, it'll play for like 5 seconds, and then just cut back to the goddamn like main Peacock menu.
That's trash.
So like there's like 3 or 4 episodes of Parks and Rec now that I cannot fucking watch on Peacock, at least on my PS4.
Oh wait, so like never again it won't let you?
Not on my fucking PS4.
Jesus.
Reset my PS4, did everything, and it's just like, boom, like, it'll come on, 5 seconds, glitches out to the Peacock main
I
menu.
can't believe WWE sold them everything just when that app started. So I just can't.
It's just insane that goddamn, like, NBC owns this fucking app.
And it's
And it's
Like
literally
this.
horrible. It's like one of the like fucking biggest media empires like out there,
Yeah.
and their app is like complete dog shit. And NBC, NBC Universal.
NBC
Yeah.
Universal.
NBC
Comcast
Universal.
company,
Once
yeah.
I graduate, brothers, don't hire me. I'll program your fucking
Did you
app.
see? I actually looked the other day on there. They put up all new stuff for October for everything. Tons of the Universal monster films are on Peacock now.
Well, they were when it first started, and they took them off, and now they're back on.
Yeah, they're highlighting it. Speaking of that, they're doing a double feature in theaters for the 90th anniversary.
Dracula, bro.
Well, they're doing, I think, Frankenstein and Dracula. I was gonna send you the screenshot.
They came out in the same year, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Dracula
they're
was
doing it
first.
as an overall they're calling it just the
Celebration.
overall Universal monster.
Let me know when it's the goddamn 90th anniversary of the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I'll probably have
Hard.
I'll fucking almost be goddamn. How old will I be? That came out in 50 something.
55? Oh, I don't know if it
Oh,
was that
nice octave right there, bro.
way. Bro, you know I got them fucking Rockstar notes, dude.
Got them fucking those range, bro. Brain damage.
1954, I was off by a year. It's fine. We got to start talking about Candyman.
So it
bros.
came out. It came out in the same year as goddamn Godzilla with Raymond Burr.
Yeah.
Or wait, no. No, Gojira. Gojira came out in 54. Gojira came out in 54, and then Godzilla came out in 55. So Creature from the Black Lagoon and Godzilla came out in the same year. Two
was a
movies about monsters coming out of the water.
Yeah.
Or were they
And-
monsters coming out?
Godzilla wasn't gay, bro.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Jarrod, Godzilla's fucking straight.
And I'll tell you what, I wanted to somehow segue monsters coming out of the water into Candyman, but I can't. Creature from the Black Lagoon is definitely not gay, because that dude seriously sees a girl in every fucking movie, and the whole plot of the movie is like, I want to fuck this girl, and he just like kidnaps girls all
Is
the
that
time.
why that was your favorite film growing up? Was that series? Because
No, I always
so
just like
relatable.
No, I just love the creature design.
Now that sounds like me. Tom.
Yeah, that sounds like
I
you,
was gonna
but
say,
literally,
wow,
literally,
roles reversed on
like
this.
as like a freaking adolescent, I loved a lot of movies strictly based on like creature design. Like I loved
Same,
Godzilla
same.
just based on like how Godzilla looked. Like really, like obviously, like a lot of Godzilla movies aren't the best.
No.
And I fucking loved them because I would just rent the tapes, fast forward to the Godzilla scenes, and just mark out at how cool Godzilla looked.
It's like watching Power Rangers as a kid. I know
Right,
we're getting
yeah.
on Candyman, but you watch Power Rangers and there were so many weird fucking creatures in it, and you're like, this is great. Like you just watch this, you're like,
Oh, I didn't give a
this
fuck
is-
about the creatures and Power Rangers. I cared about how cool the Rangers looked. They had cool outfits.
They had cool. Everything was cool in Power Rangers. Power Rangers rips. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
But Creature from the Black Lagoon had a sick fucking design. I
It
thought
really
he
does.
looked fucking awesome.
It looks amazing. It's
And
super
so
good.
like I was just like obsessed with Creature from the Black Lagoon when I was a kid.
It's timeless, super timeless look.
He looked sick, except for in Creature Walks Among Us, that he looks like dog shit in that
True.
movie.
Buddy, how do we segue into the new Candyman? After
Well, you know who doesn't look like dog shit? The Candyman.
He kind of looks like dog shit when he's like melting away. He kind of looks.
All right, for real, you want to talk about not creature but makeup design? The makeup effects on the lead as we're going when he starts to become Candyman.
No, it looks good because he's supposed to look like dog shit. It looks good.
Well,
is
yeah.
what I'm saying.
What do you think, Jarrod? Makeup effects in this film hard as fuck, pretty fucking hard.
I thought that they were fucking terrible. No, they were good. They had Mazer Laser screaming literally every time this guy got showed on the screen. Every time he picked a little scab or he
that fucking hand.
Ugh.
His hand looked insane. There were parts in the film when he's like having meetings with art critics and he literally has a mummified hand and I'm like, bro, how the fuck is no one like, what the fuck is going on with your fucking hand? Get out of here, dude. Like,
I'll tell you one thing. My biggest takeaway from Candyman as I was watching the goddamn movie was how much I hate fucking high art society.
oh yeah,
And I mean, that was probably part of the theme of the movie was like fucking like
pretentious,
like
fucking
poking
art
fun at like
trash.
pretentious art, like high art people. But like as I was watching it, I'm just always like, these people fucking suck.
They're trash.
Like all of them. And I mean, I guess the main guy was kind of involved with it, and his girlfriend was too.
But I feel like he was like very level-headed for being quote unquote an artist. Like he kind of even made fun of him. Like that party when he's like, they were trying to make fun of his art, and he's like, basically like was like slamming an old style, like fuck you, like basically just like tells them they're all garbage and they don't care about anything, and then like just stumbles drunk out of the thing. I was like, this guy's pretty much a regular fucking guy. who just is trying to be an artist but also support his fucking girlfriend, you know?
Well, he wasn't supporting shit. She was supporting him.
Well, yeah, she was, but I mean, supportive is in her career and her job and her trying to get ahead in the art world. What'd you think of the film, buddy?
I thought it was a decent film. Like, I wouldn't say that it's, like, one that I'm going to be revisiting all the time, but I definitely liked it a lot. Like, I gave it 3 stars. I don't have as much to really say about it.
It was solid.
Like, it was a solid film. Like,
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
have
solid.
much to critique, and I don't have that much to, like, really, really praise either. I don't know. Like, it's middle of the road. I really liked the film, but, like, it's not, like...
I hated the fucking cartoon thing.
Oh,
I like the cartoons.
like the
I
like the
don't like- I don't
backstory
like-
animations.
Yeah, I don't like
I
them.
could have done without those. I thought I loved it. I really, honestly, both this and Malignant. Honestly, I was actually not surprised because of the caliber of people involved. And I've obviously Malignant, I knew, but sometimes you can still be a shit film or like a just by the books film. Malignant could have just been by the books. Like we talked about the trailer. It didn't look like anything special, but I thought the Candyman, the story was like really good. I love the way it was shot. I love the way they did it. I thought all the actors were actually, even the people that I fucking hated, like they all played their roles well. Acting was good. Makeup was good. There were a couple really hard fucking scenes in it, like when the art. I mean, if you haven't seen the film yet, I don't know why you're listening to this podcast, but spoilers.
People die. People die.
People die. The main art guy, who's like fucking the girl with the Joy Division shirt, and there was some really funny dialogue.
That was
in
the funniest
And she's
part of
like-
the entire
she's like,
movie.
We get it. You love Joy Division.
Yeah,
And
she's like, love will tear us apart. He's like, we get it. You fucking love Joy Division. I seriously, that was good.
that
I
was
laughed.
super fucking funny. His death is probably the best one in the film, where they show his you don't see Candyman, but like the hook going through the Achilles and like it ripping and his face ripping, and there was effects and like I think that was the actual first kill of the film, or the first like.
The first one you see.
Yeah, and I was like, oh shit.
Well, she
like,
dies before him.
Right. Well,
The
yeah,
Joy
yeah,
Division
but
girl
like
does.
but
The
like
first sequence.
first kill, yeah, the whole
first
sequence,
kill
and I was like, oh shit, they're going to go off on this, and like that, like I said, the makeup was great. I liked the ending. I liked where they went. I guess for some people, maybe the social commentary, especially the end, was very on the nose, but I thought it was great. I mean, I really liked it a lot. I'll definitely be watching it again.
Who thinks it was?
I feel like some critics, and I read some things where people were like, tried to be like, oh, this is like it's too present day. It's too just things.
Too
like,
present. How's that a criticism?
like they just like
A
basically
film in 2021. Well, I
Talking
guess
about-
it's
A film in 2021
Talking about
reflects
things-
the times.
yeah, like
That's
I
ridiculous.
feel like I
That's
just saw
stupid. Like every fucking movie should reflect the time period that it was in.
I agree.
That's like the fucking criticism we just had for fucking Malignant, is that it felt fucking 20 years old. Candyman didn't feel 20 years
No,
old.
it felt like a
It felt
modern-
like it was happening right now, because it's
A
about
modern
things that are
horror.
happening right now, and things, quite frankly, that have been happening throughout American history.
Oh, and also we talked. That's kind of point of the story in a sense, where he talks about all the different people that have been Candyman.
I would
why
s-
they.
I would say that, like, that was an interesting bit of lore, because in the original Candymans, it was just fucking Candyman. It was just the Candyman the entire time. And then now there's been, like, multiple Candyman dudes, and
I thought it was cool. I thought the way the lore. I thought it was. And I also like how they referenced the original film quite a bit. Like it wasn't like a straight on remake. It was kind of like, basically was a sequel in a sense. Like,
It is a sequel. It's not
without
a remake.
without a reimagining. I know. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like, kind of like how Star Wars. Star Wars, the first. Star Wars Episode 7 is essentially a remake of A New Hope, but it's also a sequel.
I would say that, like, anyone that criticizes something for reflecting the present day is stupid. You should not be allowed to fucking critique anything ever again in your life if you say something stupid like that.
It's just stuff that I read. I mean, obviously, I just said I love the film. I feel like horror is the genre that always reflects the times. So a lot of horror, like you
Not
look.
just everything, fucking every
No.
genre reflects the times.
No, but
Or
I
it
meant
should at least.
Yeah.
I meant horror critiques, social commentary, social injustice, things like that. Where like you're not gonna see all of that necessarily in a superhero film of the time. Maybe now, but if you go back and watch Daredevil when it came out with Ben Affleck, it's not like there's no. I feel like that's why a lot
There
of
might
horror
be
films-
something in there.
I hope no one on here really likes Ben Affleck as Daredevil, because that film was pretty bad, if you want to be honest.
Nobody likes that movie. Maybe Dylan.
Oh God, the fucking Marvel Markham, the Marvel Money Mark himself.
I'll say this, okay, because a horrible critique to say, you know, this movie too reflects the time, it's too on the nose, blah blah blah. I would say a more solid critique is how fucking I didn't like how in your fucking face and how much they just fucking smashed it over your head. This is what this movie's about. I think that it could have been a little bit more, what's the word? Fucking just a little bit more veiled, I guess. Okay. A little bit. The movie could have been like
it didn't have the
something.
It
didn't have any subtlety to it whatsoever. Yeah. It could have been something more that like you'd have to like pick apart and analyze to get to the themes of it. Instead, they were just like, no, here are the fucking cops. They're killing black people. Here's the fucking all this shit. You know what I mean? It's just like smashing you over the fucking face with it, which is like. I mean, everyone knows what Get Out is about, and I hate to compare it to Get Out, but Get Out was at least a little bit more subtle than that. Us, I already said this was better than Us, but Us was definitely more subtle in what it was about. Is definitely a movie that was like really like examining. I felt like Candyman wanted to be deeper than it was, and part of the reason why it wasn't that deep is because you couldn't really like analyze it. It was like, don't analyze me. This is what's fucking happening.
Like just in general, the best films that are the ones that leave you thinking about stuff after. If it has all your questions answered and it's telling you exactly everything, like that's a critique of just all films in general.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
which is what I'm saying. If you're going to critique it for kind of like how it reflects the times and stuff, critique that. Critique how fucking like, you know, in your face it is. I don't really give a shit because I'm not very metaphorical, which is the word that I was looking for earlier.
We're not the ones critiquing it. We're just saying.
You know what I mean? Like, I really don't give a shit. Like, you smash it over my face if you want, but just like, I do kind of feel like it wanted to be this metaphorical movie that you'd have to pick apart and analyze and really think on and stew on, and then really be like, oh man, it really is about, you know, fucking class warfare or something stupid like that. You know what I mean? Like, or something. Yeah. I'm not saying Candyman's about class warfare, which kind of is, but like, you know, that's just a very small part of about like, you know, racism and all that shit. But, you know, instead of just like being like that, I felt like it wanted to be like that, and I feel like it failed in that sense, and that it was like really fucking obvious what was going on.
I feel like kind of maybe the ending after there was the reveal and after, I don't want to necessarily spoil it, but after you figure out what's actually happening, the whole like last 5 minutes were almost felt tacked on to me. If I want to do the like most obvious critique of the film, like I understand why, but the film could have ended with that final chase and them dealing with Candyman and him dying and him maybe talking to her about the legend and why it'll live on. Like, I felt that could have been a completely fine ending, but then they had the cops they had the cops and like the super, if you want to like the term I use, on the nose thing about, you know, killings and things like that, and then the Tony Todd reveal, stuff like that. Like that whole last 5 minutes.
Well, they had to put Tony Todd in there somewhere.
Did they? I mean, I guarantee
he's got to pop the crowd, bro.
He did, but I guarantee you there were a bunch of people, unfortunately, that saw it and were like, I don't know, because they maybe like didn't see the first. There's definitely people that are watching this for the first time that have never seen the original Candyman.
But there's also going to people that have never seen the original Candyman that are going to see this and then be like, oh, there's an original of this? I want to go back and watch the original. And then when they watch the original, they'd be like, oh, that's why fucking they're not going to know who Tony Todd is. Let's be honest.
Example.
That's why Candyman was some random guy at the end, like, that I don't fucking recognize. Because in the first three, it was him.
Davis wanted to see this. Davis is never... my buddy Davis, good dude. The Davis Love, that can be his podcast name. That's his online name. He asked me, he goes... I haven't seen the original Candyman. Do you think I can see this? And I go, I said, I think it's a completely fine standalone film that you can watch. You won't appreciate certain details as much, but you can still watch it. But you do kind of need to see certain things you will pop for if you know the original story or you've seen it.
It's better with the original context, even though I hadn't seen Candyman since I was like fucking 16 years old.
It's been almost a decade. It's been, I tried to think back. It's been, I don't think I've watched it since college. It was the last time again.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time. And yeah, I guess I don't have as much to say about it because it's easier to like review a film. Like you really hated it, you really, really loved it. For me, I really liked it. Like I don't have any, like it was competently made, like good acting across the board, good effects, good story, all that kind of stuff.
I thought the acting sucked in the first part of the movie.
I thought
when they were having the dinner conversation, I thought the dinner conversation, I was literally like, this sucks.
The thing that's weird about the dinner conversation is that they're all seated at this table, and then like mid conversation they're like, "Oh, you're so and so, right?" It's like you guys didn't introduce each other before you had this dinner. The food is at the table, and it seemed like that was the first time that they were speaking. It was a very awkward scene.
Maybe it wasn't the acting. I don't know. Something was off about the dialogue and everything in the first like part of the movie where they were doing the thing. And then he just randomly goes into the fucking Candyman story and he's all over dramatic and shit.
I will say the most random thing about the film is how they introduced the Candyman story because it was out of nowhere. Like just completely like...
Yeah, it was just like they were in the apartment and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, you want to hear a spooky
story?" Like, I think that's cool because the whole urban legend thing, a lot of things people just sit around and tell stories, but it was very like they were in the middle of a conversation and it just boom, kind of went to it. I loved it. Honestly, I guess wrapping up my thoughts on both films, I was very pleasantly surprised with both Candyman and Malignant, and I really enjoyed them. I really loved both of them, to be honest.
So yeah, to sort of wrap things up with Candyman and sort of get into our next segment, I want to tell two quick stories about our movie-going experience when we went to the theater to see this, because Jarrod and I saw this together with our wives. And Miles, you'll appreciate the first story. Okay. We're going to get popcorn, and we see a guy in a new...
Oh, Miles' best fucking friend with the brand new AEW CM Punk t-shirt on there.
Wow, what a mark. Fuck.
Because I whispered to Jarrod, the guy walks over, and he's wearing... No, I whispered. No. This guy walks over.
No, Buddy did whisper. Buddy whispered. Okay, I screamed.
Just to paint the picture, this dude's like a 5'6", like kind of like fake Jack dude, and he's wearing the new CM Punk shirt. I whispered to Jarrod.
He looked like Jack Evans.
Hopefully I'm less meth.
I whispered to Jarrod, I was like, dude, that guy's wearing a fucking new CM Punk shirt.
Or you were like, I think he's wearing a new CM Punk. Well, I think he's wearing a CM Punk shirt. And so I said, oh, the new one? Or like, whatever. I wanted to see if he was wearing a shirt. So I started talking very loudly. Like
as Jarrod tends to do.
Just to get his attention so he'd turn around and I could see the shirt. I'm like, oh, the new AEW one? And then the guy turned around and he's like, you guys like AEW? and so I successfully accomplished my mission, all right? Everybody's fucking secondhand embarrassed as fuck. I don't give a shit.
The dude was a total mark. He's like, yeah, man, the WWE product is failing.
It's so funny because he's like, are you guys AEW fans? And I was like,
we're CM Punk fans.
Kind of. We're working on it, right? And he's like, okay, yeah. And then I was like, yeah, we're CM, like mostly CM Punk fans. Yeah. And then he just turned around and said, well, the WWE product is failing. He's like, AEW is just so much better. Like,
he's like, I need more unscripted content.
Yeah, he's talking about scripts and stuff.
I hate Mark. And I hate Mark.
And I was seriously like, holy fucking shit. If I wanted to talk to Miles, I'd just call him on the fucking phone. And so goddamn, he walks away.
Not even that bad. That's the worst part of all of this.
And then goddamn Buddy's like, as soon as he walks away, Buddy's like, what a fucking mark.
He was. If I would have seen someone in the movie theater and a fucking
I should have screamed Excalibur fucking sucks dick or something.
I seriously would have looked at him like, fuck, what a mark. Like, I was in the grocery store a while back. Someone had an AEW logo shirt on. Not a wrestler, just an AEW shirt on. I was like, what a fucking mark. And just kept walking.
Well, I got you one of those for Christmas.
So. Oh, thank God.
So my second story about the theater, which will transition into our next and final segment of the show. This is backing up a little bit because this is when we were in line to get tickets. Jarrod and I were having a typical Buddy and Jarrod discussion, a little bit too loud, so that
That's typical.
Oh, I thought you were going
though.
to talk about the racist people on the way out.
I forgot about the racist people on the way out. You can tell that story quickly if you'd like,
Oh, I mean,
because it doesn't transition into the next.
yeah, it
thing.
doesn't transition to anything. What we were just, well, I wasn't even there.
It was just me.
Yeah, Emily Beck Nasty's walking out, and what did they say? When are they going to let slavery go or something like that?
Jesus Christ.
The worst people on the planet. These were like frat dudes, like 20 years old.
Only in Ohio.
5 frickin' high school boys. That's what it was.
They don't know. The mall is their
Is that what
culture. That's
Is
literally
that what
their
they said?
culture.
Like, when are they going to get over slavery or something like
They
that?
were, yes, I believe I heard that word for word, but they were also just like not satisfied with the theme of the movie. I
Well,
don't know what the hell they were expecting, but
The 4 or 5 white high schoolers weren't satisfied.
They were not
with
satisfied
the,
with
the
Candyman.
themes of racism and police
because you know what they wanted to do? All of them are growing up to be cops. They all have Blue Lives Matter stickers
Yeah,
on the
and
back
then
of their
I saw
fucking
high
truck.
school-
Anyways, racist kids. You know, and Buddy, your segue now.
Oh, fuck.
Jarrod and I were standing in line having one of our normal conversations, and it was overheard by a mother and her probably 16-year-old kid. Jarrod and I discussing how this film is going to absolutely suck if we don't see Tony Todd's dick completely covered in bees.
Tony Todd's dick just completely swarmed with fucking bees. Like a scene from fucking Jackass. Didn't they do that in Jackass? They
Hey,
covered their dicks in
Side
honey
note, as
or
we're talking
wild
about
boys or
Jackass,
something?
we'll put a little bit of current events into it. You know, it came out that the hospital bill cost for all the Jackass shows very quickly. Do you know how much money that MTV
It's like
spent
$5
on?
million.
It was more. I think it was like, wasn't it over $20 million they spent on bills with inflation or something. That's a lot. I just want to throw it out there. Anyways, Tony Todd's cock.
It's really not a lot when you think about what those guys fucking did.
But you think
Those cats probably had to go to the fucking... First off, it's not a lot when you think about this takes place in the United States of America.
True.
And what these guys fucking do. And how, like, these cats probably got hospitalized at least, like, 3 times per episode.
Honestly, yeah. At least one of them did at least. All right, buddy.
But anyway, it's Cocktober. We're talking about cocks.
Okay, on a side note, the cocks.
How many side notes you gotta take?
It's a Cocktober thing. I'm on a side quest round. Do you think? Do you think?
He's
Do
been
you
on
think?
like 12 side
Do you
quests
think
this
Tony
fucking
Todd's
podcast.
cock?
Miles,
as
finish
Candyman-
a side quest before you
All right,
start
I'm
the next
trying.
one.
All right. Do you think? All right. Real talk. Do you think Tony Todd's cock is like a beehive, or bees can go in and out of his cock and live in his cock?
I think Candyman in general, when you become Candyman, the beehive, your cock is a beehive, basically.
Do you think the Queen lives in his dick tip? I'm asking.
It is dick
Do you
tip.
think the Queen
in
crawls?
in the head of his penis?
Do
Is
you
what
think?
you said?
Yes. Do you think it crawls out of his urethra when it wants to come out? The Queen. Is his honey cum? Is his cum honey? I have brain damage. I'm on the show right now.
I think his piss is honey.
His piss is honey. Well,
Yeah.
what is it when he comes?
When he comes, it's like that, like grade A. It's like that extra, like
That
fucking
grade S. It's that
S
Chad.
grade.
Is it that Chad honey, bro?
Chad honey. Yeah,
It's that Chad honey. All right.
grade
anyways.
C grade comes C for Chad.
Buddy's face is as red as his t-shirt right now. I know you can't see that, audience, but go ahead, buddy.
We're going to be talking... So, for those of you that don't know, in Cocktober, we're going to be ranking some of the sexiest men in a given topic that we're talking about. It's a tie-in with Candyman. It was hard because there's not too many candy mascots out there, so we're just going to do food mascots in general. So it can be candy, cereal... the Kool-Aid Man is obviously a contender. It can be anything food-related, so we'll just get this started off pretty quick.
When you were talking about that, Miles, Buddy's face looked like the mom's face when we were talking about Tony Todd's cock.
He's like, God
The
damn.
kid loved it. The kid was
course he did.
all about it. He was
Of course
like
he did.
that kid was fucking dying when we were just like all we had to do was say the word fucking penis and he was like fuck.
Oh, no, and then we walked into the theater and some fucker...
Oh.
Some fuckers.
This is the funniest fucking thing of all time.
Some dude. We're sitting in our seats, so we had to find somewhere else in the.
Because we had to pick our seats. You had to play.
So we had to find somewhere else in the theater to go because we didn't want to confront these people. This kid recognized us from the line and was like, "Hey guys, you can come sit by us."
Oh, so fucking funny.
They probably recognize you from the podcast.
We all
already.
fucking completely ignored him and literally sat like basically second row, but it felt like I was inside of the fucking screen.
You're inside.
I seriously felt like I was just laying like with the screen just completely vertical over my fucking body, basically.
All right.
Our angle was the worst of all time because we ignored the kid that wanted to hear us make
Worse
cock
than
jokes.
Kong and Godzilla?
Yeah, worse.
Yeah, it was
worse.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God. All right.
Like they put like the front row of seats in this like obscenely close to the screen. I've never seen like a front row that close.
What theater did you go to? As we're just...
We went
Buddy would
to.
know.
It was at the mall by your.
Oh, yeah. That's
No,
what I saw.
it was Strongsville Mall.
Oh,
Strongsville
shit,
Mall.
no.
Seriously, the front row was like
In the screen.
it was like yeah.
It was actually on the other side of the screen. You're watching the screen backwards.
Yeah.
You're so far into it. Anyways, all right, buddy. Who's the
all right.
sexiest? Who's the sexiest?
All right, we got to start things off with the fucking Noid. Sexiest dude of all time. Do you not
Miles
know
is
who the Noid
trying to
is?
remember who the Noid is.
I don't
From
know who
Domino's.
that is.
From Domino's.
Oh, all right. Mine's pretty easy.
We're naming some honorable mentions. You
Okay.
can't go into your pick. Who's
fuck,
who's
all right.
sexy, bro? Tony the Tiger.
Wait, the Noid's not going to be your pick?
No, there's no. The Noid is a fucking no.
You just said he's
The Kool-Aid Man's
You just said
sexy.
he's the sexiest man of all time.
Kool-Aid
Let's
Man's-
talk about this for a second.
Kool-Aid Man's
Because I'm
hot.
looking at the Noid right now. He's got a pretty big nose. How big of a cock do you think the Noid actually has?
Bigger than his nose.
I don't know. Those are some tight pants. I don't think he's sticking it.
What if,
Oh,
what
that's
if he's
just
a
the-
grower,
that's
not a
just the-
shower?
Yeah.
It's probably a grower.
All right, it's Halloween. Got to shout out the boys. Count Chocula,
This could be.
Frankenberry.
He could have
the
two.
goats.
He could have two penises. Those could be the things hanging off his head. He could literally.
Okay, so the Noid's ears look like those jackrabbit like vibrators.
What if it's okay? What if his dick is so goddamn big? All right.
No.
Literally, if you're listening right now, pull up a picture of the Noid.
No, I'm doing it right now. It's horrible.
Okay, and you can see these massive fucking look. He's pulling on them. Oh my god, that's definitely got to be his cock in there. So all right,
What if
so
he has
imagine
just
this.
2 cocks for ears?
No, I'm saying one cock. Okay, listen to the math behind this because I'm gonna point it out to you.
There's a Funko Pop.
Okay, his dick. Okay, he's got it tucked in behind. Okay, so his dick is running up his back. You notice how you never see the Noid's back.
Notice how it's never visual.
It's never visual, okay? You only ever see the front of the Noid. He's always tugging on these ears, okay? Notice this, all right?
Okay.
Look, here's an old fucking Capcom Noid video game.
Jesus Christ. All right.
I remember seeing that before, actually. Okay, so his dick is running up his back and through to the ear, okay? So it's up one ear. We'll say his right ear first, okay? And then he loops it around, okay?
Oh,
so
my
it loops
God.
around.
I have a visual of this in my brain. And
Okay.
I was gonna
up,
use the podcast
and then
name, but I'm not
down,
gonna do it.
cross his head, up the other ear, and then down probably about halfway back down his back.
Jesus Christ.
All one giant cock.
Who else do we got to talk?
He's also-
Miles got mad at me when I brought up Count Chocula.
Count Chocula was gonna be my pick, bro.
It can be your pick.
Count Chocula. All right.
We've got a lot of heavy hitters.
He's also only about 2 feet tall. Do you think that he has enough blood in his body
To get a
to
boner?
actually get a full erection, the Noid?
All right. Well, all right. On a side note, how big do you think Count Chocula's dick is? Do you think it's a good size?
Massive.
I
It's
don't know.
massive.
Okay.
Massive cock.
We've got a lot of heavy hitters to talk about. I feel like this might have been too broad of a
Speaking
topic.
of
the
heavy
Hawaiian-
hitters,
what about the Hawaiian Punch
Count
Man?
Chocula's cock is a heavy hitter. Let me tell you.
What about the
something.
Hawaiian Punch Man? Huh?
Do you think they have
No,
Count
yeah?
Chocula like fanfic
Yes.
porn?
Yeah.
Let me see here.
Do you think he
look
fucks? You think he fucks Boo Berry in it? Boo Berry is the ghost one on
up.
that.
Wow, I see one right here. Look it up, Count Chocula porn. The first one is Count Chocula literally getting
Gagging a girl, yeah.
and she's thinking chocolate. His cock is made of chocolate.
Not marshmallows.
or maybe not made of chocolate, but just tastes of chocolate.
What if his cum is chocolate and its cock's a marshmallow?
His cum is definitely chocolate because he's Count Chocula for sure. Frankenberry porn. Look at this stuff. Well, how come we haven't looked up porn for literally?
How come we don't watch porn together, guys?
I'll pull an Emily. Is it gay to watch themed cereal porn together? I don't know.
I'll tell you right now that I used to watch porn with the boys all the time growing up. Like, we'd be watching porn all the time.
I only watched 2 porns with some friends, and it got real weird, so I just didn't.
2
No.
porns.
2 porns, 2 individual.
2 porns. All right, I'm looking up Noid porn.
All right, buddy, what? All right, Hawaiian Punch Man. Sexy, not sexy?
Sexy.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Jarrod,
Wow! Oh my God! Look at this High C, Kool-Aid Man, and the Noid in porn. This is insane. So
So the top tier, the goats, all the goats right there. You're saying all the goats together.
And then underneath it is Kool-Aid Man and My Little Pony porn.
Oh my God.
Yes, together. Here's female Kool-Aid Man, Kool-Aid Man tits.
Buddy, what are some other ones though? Because I'm drawing a blank.
all right, Jarrod has yet to bring anyone to the table.
I'm just looking at porn now at this point.
I feel like we need
Here's
to
the Noid getting fucked.
Oh wait, hey, what's
The Noid,
I
the
feel
Noid
like-
getting pegged.
what's the Cheeto tiger's name?
Chester Cheeto.
Chester Cheeto. Chester Cheeto is like a ladies' man. I feel like. Don't you
Ooh,
feel like?
sexy female Noid.
What do you guys think about? What do you guys think about the Cheetos guy? The Cheetos tiger. Is the Cheetos tiger hot or no?
We need to take.
Here's a Noid sitting on a Domino's pizza, rubbing his dick.
If you didn't get brain damage on the first episode of Brain Damage, you're a fucking idiot. Because I'm getting it right now. I'm getting.
So Jarrod has to go with the noise.
I'm-
That has to be his pick.
I'm getting.
Look at this picture.
Jarrod,
Oh my God.
I don't have any brain cells left, to be honest.
I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna have to tap out of this
literally
podcast. I think.
cried.
I don't know.
we gotta wrap this up. Jared's picking the Noid. Miles.
I'm thinking Count Chocula.
We haven't
the
even
hot boy.
talked about what the fuck is this.
You're done. You can't even. Jared's tapped out. I don't even know what I'm looking at on his. Jesus Christ. Hey, Midnight Miles. Thanks for listening to Brain Damage.
You're not signing out. Who are some of the other?
I'm
Tony.
signing off.
We haven't even talked about Tony the fucking tiger.
Because you looked at 50 fucking animated Noid porns. I saw all of them. I'm scarred as fuck now.
Oh man. You know Tony the Tiger's got a massive cock for sure.
Jesus.
And it's retractable, so that's why he's able to fucking
Jesus Christ.
play, do the fucking ads, child friendly for the ads, but
I thought you were going on a dark. I really am signing off.
no, it's totally child friendly, totally PG on the ads. But when the cameras stop rolling and Tony lets the fucking monster out, it's
Did he let it down like a fruit by the foot? Just unrolls that shit right down his fucking leg?
well, that's how he has to bring it back in. He has to reel it back in and then kind of shove it back in there. It's so goddamn big. Tony the Tiger is a solid choice. Nobody's going with Tony the Tiger.
You can go with Tony the Tiger. I feel like you have to go with the Noid. You have such a deep personal connection to him now.
I'm going
The
Count
Noid's
Chocula.
not gonna win.
Listen, I'm bringing out the true heavy hitter for my pick. Well, it might not be my pick. Chef Boyardee.
No.
Fucking king.
Wow, what a goat. True. The goat. Wow, the Italian stallion buddy right here going with Chef Boyardee.
No,
Probably
there's so many-
his hero
I
growing
don't
up.
know who to pick. There's so many
He's
heavy...
from Cleveland.
You got the fucking hamburger helper glove. You got the fucking the tuna fish from the tuna fish containers, bro. There's so many heavy hitters out there.
I heard you guys mention Chester Cheetah, but I mean,
I said, yeah, I brought him up.
but out of the big cats, I mean, like
He was on TV and commercials for. He's been a steady
out
mascot
of the
for
big
years
cats,
and
but
years.
though, like, listen, like Mazer Laser, who would you rather fuck, Chester Cheetah or Tony the Tiger? Tony the Tiger, 100%.
I have my serious pick because there's so many heavy hitters. A very suave gentleman. I'm going with Mr. Peanut
Oh,
for
my
sure.
Yeah, he's definitely.
Yeah,
That's
King.
that's
That's
true
that guy
icon.
that wines and dines you.
Died.
He wines and dines.
What about the Keebler elves?
What about Joe?
Bro, Keebler Elf and packing his fudge, man. That's the whole fucking thing, bro. How much fudge did he put on all those cookies over the years?
Captain Crunch. I'm just going with like cereal mascots right now.
This is definitely a topic we're gonna have to revisit because there's so many.
I'm going with Count Chocula.
Who's that guy? It's the freaking
From Honey Smacks. I don't know his name.
Oh,
Honey Smacks frog.
Oh, fuck. Honey Smacks are good. Wait, where's the raccoon?
Is it just kind of like a
It's a frog. It's a frog, right?
Yeah, it's a frog. Is it kind of just like a given like assumption that any food mascot their semen tastes like the food?
Exactly like the food.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Golden Crisp? What was the Golden
bear?
Crisp?
It's just a bear.
Okay, yeah, Golden Crisp was fucking ripped though. Now we're just talking about cereals.
Guys. Colonel Sanders.
You lost me on that one, bro, but you guys got it.
No, come on. Like, you know he's fucking sexy in those WWE commercials where Dolph Ziggler was Colonel Sanders.
It just sounds like you want to fuck Dolph Ziggler, a local legend,
Do you not want to fuck Dolph Ziggler?
No, because he probably has every STD. He's fucked everyone on the planet.
Nice try. He gets tested every time. He's giga straight over here. Fucking.
As
Okay.
All right, hold on. Hold the fucking phone. Because I know we're talking about Candyman, okay? But some foods, sometimes being healthy is sexy.
I was literally about to say who probably has the biggest cock out of everyone.
Massive cock. The Jolly Green Giant. The Jolly Green Giant.
Yeah, Jolly Green Giant definitely has a fucking 10-incher to maybe 10-footer, to be honest.
And he's a handsome lad, too.
He's good looking lad. He has a good smile.
Yeah, solid smile.
All right, I'm still, because I'm a...
Does Chuck E. Cheese count?
It counts.
His pizza sucks, though. His pizza sucks.
Mr. Clean.
That's not food.
Oh.
Does
Well, Maisie over here drinking bleach might count for her.
All right, dark subject. I'm going with Count Chocula.
Does the owl from the Tootsie Pops commercial count?
Yeah.
Wait, who's this
Wow,
guy?
that's
Who's
a
this
real
guy? I know
legend
him.
right
That's
there.
the Golden Grams guy. That's the guy we were just talking about.
Okay.
Golden Grams or Golden Crisp?
Golden Crisp.
Guys.
What about the Nesquik rabbit?
the icy polar bear?
King.
Oh, he's cool.
Oh, yeah, he's pretty sexy.
I'm a horror guy. Count Chocula, man. Count Chocula's my man for this. The pick for that.
The leprechaun
The leopard.
for Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
No.
No?
No love for the short guys, bro.
Uh,
What about Little Caesar? Fucking just pull up that toga, man. It's probably packing.
bro, he's Italian. Italian stallion, bro.
The dill pickles stork.
Jesus Christ.
King.
What about
A true god.
Hot Mama pickle? The pickle bags?
Oh.
The one's called Hot Mama?
But then the mascot's a lady, right?
But then there's... Hot
Oh, no. Oppression
Hot Papa.
of hot women.
This is for cocks only. We're only
That's
talking about
true.
cocks.
Because Hot Mama does have a cock.
What if he might be trans.
What about the Pringles guy? Got a hell of a stash.
That's true. That's true.
Buddy likes the stash over there, we can tell.
The hamburger helper oven mitt.
Did I bring... No, I brought up the Arby's glove.
Wait,
yeah,
what about
I
Toucan
meant the
Sam?
oven.
Toucan Sam?
What? That's a bird.
Fruit Loops? Fruit Loops? No one fucks with Fruit Loops here?
Nobody wants to
Fruit Loops
talk
are
about
fine.
bird dick.
Yo, that maybe... Yeah, but what if he just stuck that big-ass fucking snout right up...
Ronald fucking McDonald. I know who's got Mazer Laser's vote over there. She's like, I want to go see the giant McDonald's head.
All right, you guys for real? You think we've named enough? You think we should be giving... What? I'm doing Count Chocula. That's my choice. I'm done. That's my bro, Count Chocula. Done. What do you guys think?
What?
That's my guy, right? I'm going with Mr. Peanut. Got to.
That's
Very
a classy choice.
Very suave.
Very classy choice. Jared's struggling on this. What do you think,
What
Jared?
the fuck is this?
All right, Jared, we can look at porn together after the show.
I didn't even look up porn. This is literally, I looked up food mascots, and this image of all of them with their pants pulled down and their asses came
I'm
up.
pretty sure it's just your
And it
search
even-
history. Maybe.
And it even has the. You can look at my search. It just says food mascots. It has the Noid in there for sure. There's Big Boy. The Taco Bell Chihuahua.
Is that your pick, though?
No.
What about the Burger
We
King
need-
King?
Those
The Burger King King, yeah.
He probably got a big cock.
What about the Little Caesars toga man?
That's what he already said.
Little Caesar.
I was probably watching porn then.
All right, we have our picks, Joe. We need a definitive Jarrod answer. Dynamite Jarrod answer. Who do you think?
Why are you rushing me, for fuck's sake?
Because we know you're gonna look at porn for 45 more minutes.
I'm not looking at porn anymore.
It's just a picture of 40 cocks on your phone.
That was assholes, you fucking idiot. Look at this. Yeah. This is where the cock goes if you're having gay sex.
Thank you. I didn't.
Okay.
I had no fucking clue.
Which is what I'll be having with Dolph Ziggler later tonight, and you're not invited, motherfucker.
Just let me know how big his cock is.
It's probably massive. I'll let you know.
He's a stallion.
Did anybody mention the Nesquik bunny?
I brought it up briefly.
Okay.
What about the Cheerios bee?
The honey nut Cheerios guy. Yeah.
Holy shit. I mean, obviously, I'm going with the Jolly Green Giant. I think he's the only one that's actually sexy out of these ones. I mean, nobody picked Tony the Tiger.
Yes.
I guess that's your guys' picks then.
Mazer Laser with Tony the Tiger. Beck Nasty, who you got? The Noid?
No.
She's like, let me go down this rabbit hole of weird fucking.
The M&M's guy?
No, the honeycomb.
Oh shit.
Like the Tasmanian devil looking
Yeah.
dude?
Yeah.
Whatever that is. The crazy honeycomb guy. Whatever he is.
The crazy honeycomb guy. Okay.
Yeah. He looks insane. Like he's just a weird Tasmanian devil. He's Tasmanian devil, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, well that's we're wrapping this shit up.
Even Buddy has brain damage after this episode, so
Brain damage. Did you guys notice that the name of the podcast is Brain Damage?
well, I'm happy to be back, gentlemen.
Let's look up Chuck E. Cheese porn.
Alright, bye.